Jwale di fihlile tsa Free State ntate. Ha jwale di fihlile ntate. Jwale di fihlile tsa Free State ntate o tlo kwala. Ba tlo betsana, fatshe le tlo thothomela. Ba utlwa bohloko, ba tshwile re tsebe ba tshwile. Re dilo re ba fa di motivation ntate. So le jwalo ke tsa Free State ngwaneso. Ka se di qete, talente e ngata monna molo.
The following program contains strong language and discussions. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast and comments on this channel do not reflect or represent the views of this channel.
Hi guys, we're back like Gogo, and today we've changed the location to more Jumanisi. And it's a Thursday. We wanna actually cover this quick interview because what's a Thursday? But anyway, we are going to discuss a very important topic. As you all know, it's 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and we're going to dive into it. But before we do that, my name is Magato Felix Siloko, aka Biz, aka Max Bantiankamaki. I'm not alone. I'm with my co-pilot.
Yo, what's happening? But to a free starter, as you know, it's your boy Pinolaven but boastful, aka Mr. Do. I would do Fanamakasana. I'm quite a cheater at Dropo.
Yeah.
I
mean, come on.
I'm who wanna hire for
and also we're not alone, we've got our guest, and he's a very familiar face around Welcome, but I'm gonna give him a platform to introduce. Yes.
And then
So,
no.
what's that white thing in Welcome? Because you originally you push out Welcome and issues that are really serious surrounding Welcome and the Free State. So, hey, please introduce yourself to our guest. Yeah, true.
Speaking of that, what do you mean how Babasia?
I'm there's something yet Negi posted last week on Facebook.
Yeah.
But when about sharp immediately feel like one other thing I call.
Yeah. I think
Do you think Ibuma unprepared, but then because of relationship alone allow I wanna it's about happy family.
Sometimes
but
sometimes
then how can I come over for I can wanna the cost I can wanna for accept let me keep them
but banana decision but to give out your barre decision I don't believe that, but the consequences because decision is one moment thing face could be take a face, but the consequence will be take a face. Get wrong. So, but that one moment they are unprotected sex. Have I shared an integrity?
I'm not sure.
Into the town. How is that into the town to just here, the pregnancy, HIV. And we all know that.
Yes. And then no person to play the victim and be like, but you know.
And then that couple I remember how to Hulu but when I found out play for so reckless and then it's like uncomfortable conversations, but then
we are in our black communities, society.
It's uncomfortable. Remembering Udara 2001, it used to be awareness, AIDS, and I programming and it's like man, health. Pareil, ça veut dire qu'on condom trop pile South Afrique.
re soma ka nao batho
Yeah,
ba
basically. According to the stats. According to the stats.
But then, do you think it, like people say about to Lorona because there's no awareness? Do you think it's also our
poor
fault?
decision making, personal poor decision making, because ke dikarabelo ba ka go di bona we ntwena ke a tseba go sa le tla nitsetsa eng e na le results tse sharp kapa tse bad. There's no one to blame but ourselves.
You know, and we always want to give the responsibility on one side. I've always said, as sharing carry condoms in your bag.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with carrying condoms in
Yeah.
your bag. At least now you are taking that part, that responsibility to say, should it happen, but we still in a and then in the heat of the moment, then we wanna shift
Ya
lanes
fela la
and
go tshwere ka nna wa etsagala gore ai
you understand? It's human nature. Literally, we are at that phase, Merlin. We need to have these conversations. So, like, baby girl, make sure you got.
Mara, don't
condoms
you
in
think
your
like
bag.
Nugina re se normalize it ho robala fair? It's like Tobalan, it's okay. Yo, robale ho
when
se
you put
fela.
you on to
Yeah.
Hey, man.
especially yo batho ba bomme gona ne ke bolela my cousin ke re I can marry 10 women but you cannot marry 10 men.
100%.
And if you remember every guy that you slept with.
Exactly.
And I don't remember what I said. You know, give me a bit of TMOs. True. Because when I'm coming to mom next year,
And hey, it's scary because most women they indoors and they minding their own business. They know that they've got their partner, but sometimes the partner about week, and then you're sitting with a situation that jiggy, you've got issues and
Yeah.
so that's something that happens, and that's why I encourage girls, because something may happen, but at least you took the responsibility to say no.
And Lintuna over the computer, no matter Yeah.
feminism.
Yeah,
you
feminism
can't.
also.
I want them to have a blind again. A sharp and like a boy or to some week. Mostly in I'm not taking side. But I'm going to the shop. I'm going to 5 months at Talabatalon. Never fix the money, much heavy money municipality. No, I'm not going to feel like I'm going to my hing, Kamuna. But at the moment, again, King Nagapakwe. I don't negotiate a long term happy for level the leadership guy. After the level bit, yeah, too. Also, one me. And open a mahogany picture and tweet. Mahua, I go pack a fella pulling more about Sibita, but I can't test the bullet summer. But I'm going to I didn't try to tell my But you fell in love with that from the first place.
Thank you. Consistency,
Yes.
and that's how relationships.
I believe it comes to what I said, first impression. You have a copanum nating. On an impression and you're a funny, like it's really. We can tell you, usually na kimtaka glue ikira wine then how to meet that personality aga also like
That's a red flag.
how to
Like Lena, or social media,
yeah.
but I'm not that person in a relationship.
Of
So
course.
maybe when you're a fellow guy, sure, and none about and trying to give on money, Facebook, again to you.
At all.
Next.
I have a question, man. And this is I like this from a guy's perspective, man. So, do you believe it's the inability to have a mature conversation, to say, "Vele, you saw me as this person, and you just wanted to go out for that one particular weekend, and once you saw one night, are you able okay, because we met in the streets once in a while, let's go out and let's go out together as a couple." Are you guys able to have those kind of conversations? Or game 20 Labona, there's an elephant in the room, but highly addressed.
Ya fita fela tjena ke re shane a re nke le song and it is very important e bona le ntho e bona le ntho normal fela ga miti o tjena le nna ke tsa tswa so le na tsone
True.
but in the future ke le tshwana le babedi da
I would say on top of that yore a re kopana ne because of buma previous relationships tsa rona
past experience
yeah wa bona manana ntshona ke tla mo bona jwa yeah ka tla bona ha le se bo jwang ka tla bona la go ithoka jwang wa bo a re tlo bua pele because nka ha ke bua go fa hint de go gona go etsa
We prepare like how to
ke be smart so re batla o be unprepared ke bona for go ithoka jwang ha le hantle then re be bona for aish.
But once Liboni do you still go back and sit down and have a conversation? I get it. Okay, we're going to who conflicted. So do you address okay, what made you react that way? Was it a moment of anger, sadness, or maybe or do you take time to learn a person?
Not personally, I never experienced that. I'll tell you why. I don't just go to someone like I want to company. I didn't know for I know to go back. It's a monitor, but go for like that is December. Say it's about on I'm telling you, Shego, Ali Capello China, Ali 57 Cafe China, or Tamale Mama, or Tamale Bakotiba, Atamel Bandagapolo. I get away. It's like an idea of now. Matana. I'm so experience and too excited. I go back to too excited in Jakune Street.
Okay.
And then say like say one like a monitor then it's a halayore lenam to she's lost. And then when I'm to the law what you tell in that basis in your eyes then if you want to know I wa force couple otoba like joa.
No,
Because I get from a distance. So that's why he's saying he takes time.
As a mature man, or mature woman, you must know personally, no one is perfect.
Yeah.
That is why the senator be really negatively positive.
Yeah.
Highly positive, the colony as a start.
Yeah.
So don't take the didn't have the popane, be the tamisa for me. So personality, how I know personally. Mosadi Mubatang, or Mubatamunyana, Munahana, Clamara woman. Hi. Mosadi is a raw material. Talk about how to meet 20. We want to say in 2 ring 20. It's all done. Lemusadi, very bad. I'll try to let you in a silver platter. Never.
That is true. That is very true. And I like the part y'all emphasize of the difference. Of course, some elements more than that one, and then there's definitely elements more than that one, and you need to appreciate that about your partner,
100%.
and you conversate about it. And talk about I don't go. I'll pay you.
True.
But you say it in a safe way, in a safe space. So I'm talking today. Maybe we'll let me just take out and then o tla pay another time.
100%.
No shop practice how. That's what I mean when I say conversations in a
And it's very important communication, but for us, Majida,
that's how we are wired.
Yeah.
You know what you are.
We're gonna get into it because we're not the segmented thing at the touch on. But before we get into it, we're not how was your childhood? Like, were you raised? How look about me?
No, my mom and my dad.
Both of them. Yeah, and how was it living like with born?
No, it was just an ordinary poor family living in a shack. Together with my 4 siblings, growing up with a family of boxing. What I wanted to have a solution in the solution ya khale ne lo shapa mosadi like ona go tsuna go bua ka engagement go tsike ka ga ntse jwalo then ke yona ntwentseng ke a negative kind of about. I don't want to be this kind of man. Alors, that's why we can fix a fellow to face. Come on, that's why I'm 20 and only get to the that is why when I like Banabano Chinaba Fraja, that's why when Banabana Spanish soap, to tell you when I'm packing about Channel Road. Now, but in the school never problem. Because it's selling confidence. Yes. In the Satlam Temple open them apart. You would see different to other hostels in the Satlam Towers interface. Timu feels out. Give them confidence. I give them to another get to a guy or Gijilema Coco Singati. That's the Gijilesh you guy. That's what.
Do you think, now that you're saying that, some people, that background they have, some become bullies to a sense where it escalates, they become physical.
Yeah.
And then you find someone like you like, I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be abusive. Do you said you grew up with both parents.
Yeah.
But there's this concept, where why not housing with both parents becomes a good product.
Yeah, but they're privileged.
But you find all the but with both parents, but they still become an abusive person. You understand? So do you think we as African people, we should now start introducing Chinaya counseling and addressing hidden issues in a person growing up? Because with the rate of the gender-based violence, I think it stems from somewhere. Rather walk away and avoid it. But there's people they force you, they become abusive. Do you think maybe if we can push the narrative, people should go for counseling to address whatever anger issues that can lead to them committing violence to the next person?
Life is so amazing. In my own perspective view, my own you can
observation and how
but to abusive relationship especially he never experienced that. He never saw a woman crying. He never found himself Allah punishing and wear shampoo. So and the toxic masculinity treatment of family, that's why he was a feminine man.
Yeah.
Not a man with high masculinity, not a toxic one.
I think the sooner we come to the realization, as a man, you have the feminine side and the masculine side. And as a woman as well, there's the masculine side and the feminine side.
Yes.
But we as women, we fall under the feminine side, and the men
under the masculine one.
Yeah, but you don't become ignorant of the other side. When I say a woman, the masculine side is the masculine side. You understand? So it's that masculine part where if I know I have a husband and I have kids, I'm going to protect my family as well. That's the masculine side. And then I know I'm going to be a feminine. I'm not going to baby again. So if you can identify both sides, okay, I'm masculine, but I also have moments of feeling,
in that feminine side, Mujita. Feminine side. What is feminine, Alan?
Feminine side, I can't have masculinity. Masculinity is responsibility to protect. Like the Bible said, they are the ribs. They protect your king. I must protect this. So my feminine side is to be kind to her and my kids and people around me.
I love it. You come for like your dad on a abuser.
Yes.
Wow. And in those times, these terms that were GBV, like who and like on other siblings.
Yes.
In follow na halbona ntwe, and then it like affect as you growing up.
Happen na gule strategy. Kenana le sela go tsenga na khale. E go tile go bethafu feta bana ba notse. Like I said to in sekolo matho bana sa tsebona ke phela bophelo bo jwang a ke le ntlong yeso go jwang batho ba maketsa ba bona ga go tla le nikina wa bo o sale ke le motho a strong na what is amazing about bophelo ntho e mpe ka pa ntlo wa try wa try wa tseba ga ke la bohlano ithulla botsa sa tratam o tlo tsala moferefe o go try le ba even normal life unlike bana ba no tshena o tla go so to kene me di clinic man ha cope school because gona in our time ne re sena ntwana gore yo my dad bought me or my mom bought this. That is why I affect le bana ba no tshena ntwe because na le ngwana matlang a phela nga mona tha bona batsadi o peaceful ka o khona bua ka
that
situation ya habo wena o dula le batsadi ba lwana ke e tlo etsa.
But I think I love what you just said, but let me do to the psyche, and that's what I asked earlier. Can we not build a narrative of it? It's okay to go for counseling. It's okay to talk about these things because starting out because somebody might judge you because the situation is different from Yaluna. If like but I'm telling you, and it hurts me. So in the streets with your circle, if you talk about those things, you become belittled, and then that on its own may create that subtle anger. But if you have like your counseling sessions, you can address those things and have a third perspective. A professional to say no, it's okay.
Not what I personally did. I personally took a personal decision. I dated a woman and another one. There was a time when she gets because of what I experienced at home. About in the presence of one. And I thought what I did, I whispered to him, yes,
So like when I like anything like a bit different. They do abuse other people, and then because it's your decision maybe sometimes we do need to go through these things. Be a better person couple.
Yeah.
And I'm not a saint. I once beat my girlfriend.
Exchanging of words.
No, I exchange the words.
Oh.
I
know that situation.
So never count like the Musaduna I think I got one auto when I ship what Musaduna. And I actually don't fix it that you matter, but I'm listening to you. You know, the Shalaga get up when you should come and kiss me. The shop what's about on Georgie and you what's about a sin. That's not me. That's not me.
So where did it come from?
Yeah,
I reckon sharp. No, what did I point in?
No, sharp.
And you're not a psychologist and tree. It's a work experience. When I'm saying like you believe Facebook and Jerry, what in you needs to be healed before you can hand it over to someone?
Yeah.
Your past traumas, whatever. So, like you were Hannah Kerim. Medicine ratting rat over the banana garage toxic. I fit over I just go to see Facebook.
Things that I just made note of what you just said.
I have a Facebook on see. I have to talk up and listen to Stephen could see who I am. So you're not trying to more. I look after whatever I was bullied. Next time, so that load, that pain of load, what I will know, and it won't affect telling. And a year now, I'm not that devil. That's a problem.
And in really something like a toxic element. I remember once upon a time we were not a banana na Hassan shop
yes.
And you think about it and you're like, but this person is beating you up. Like what kind of TikTok? What kind of love is that? Like, no, and that's how abuse also is promoted indirectly. Wow. So how and then another thing that you mentioned about your situation, that the chick out the time, you know what said. And they are quiet, they are dying in silence out here. And GBV needs to be spread out like that. There's men that are actually going through it. We see it happening. We try to deciding why. Oh, what's
True.
I had this post. Yeah, I think. Now we'll always advocate for women, but also there's advocating for men and children because they go through it as well. But I think it's high time men talk amongst themselves and not bully each other. Because once
I know, like, I can learn.
So, it builds up, and then men die in silence. They commit suicide. The suicide rate falls under men because they're going through a lot of things because they can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So abuse is a very deep in, because when I emotional abuse, not just physical abuse.
Verbal abuse.
And I would say lona majita bona haholo re khabatwa ka mo emotional abuse we never talk about it mabo re tula fela ke no tla tseba also ne based on GBV, especially ka mo e portrayang ka teng. What's your take on GBV wena? Because ga tla touch hape ho ha re tsebua so ona ntse ke to ho click ho na ke also tell me aware ho mental awareness a black man in a pressure ngata from katlu pressure in society and no ke nana ke nkare mjito molomo ma ha ke sheba haholo gona as mthamotsi like the system it's like high favor really all wa bona ya tlamile le ka la skere tsamla go feel
Hey, can you be part of my tamona? Yeah, cool.
Why not speak English? I want to say na personally to end GBV or to minimize rate GBV.
Yeah.
Imatsonga bomme bana. Botlaba mosadi.
Yeah.
It's not what you did. Botlaba mosadi. What you do when you are not washed.
Yeah. Oh yes.
That's the beauty of women.
Yes.
When a man is hurt, his decision, it is based on his emotional intelligence. No. Ha ke ta bona ntho e mpe mo ntse nyona me bo mo cheat. Ne. O fela fee. Ntwana le jibua ya decision and consequences. Babo.
Yeah.
Ha o tle hore ha ke ta o bola mosadi ona na. Family ha e lo fila jwang. That process that healing process.
Yes.
Ya ngwana gona bula we o shweletse matso wa motho wa morata. Ha e tlentwene. O mo bola ile shapo ya tronko mo lo phela ha monate da.
Yeah.
So ntotla batho mo tsena ba yetse. Ba ronkang batho bomme. O shebe TikTok no tshi. La ka bula TikTok no tshi na o no feta video tse 5 o sa tla mosadi ya my man, where are you? You are inviting a stranger to your personal and emotional life. Someone doesn't know you. Someone that's so it's a no when I He took you to Deben. La ya mo wa camera 3 months overlate. After that you say men are dogs, but you personally choose a dog.
Exactly.
What's a home to go jolo kere le batla I always say this ntho highly black and black why o batla we paint to be yellow. If something is black and you see this about this person and originally our standards as a woman over this one I will not tolerate, but because of maybe unresolved emotional issues or societal pressures or family pressures, maybe he will change one day. I don't know, he won't change, he will keep doing it, and once he sees okay, she's not cozy or it will continue, and it's going to escalate from emotion to physical, and once they got physical, finally this thing, trauma bond, because of that now you feel okay, ish, one better, we'll resolve it, and then how we are aware you're falling under the trauma bond, and now you are going deeper and deeper into this pit. Exactly. So until we go on, it's true. This is wrong and this is wrong.
There's this story, there's this scripture in the Bible.
Yeah.
Ruth caught the attention of a man while she was busy working for herself, cultivating.
Yes.
Ona sa batle monna, that was not her intention.
Yeah,
Ona sebetsa mo.
yeah.
Monna wa ababona abatla o ye.
But
Boaz, yes. Thank you. You're so smart. You're so spiritual. Nothing so smart.
yes,
Yeah.
spiritual, yes. That one I will
Then
tell you that. Yeah.
Then Moab took vote from Moab to Israel. And Ruth, even to say talent today. How come someone was saying you to a month? And Ruth became the best friend of Bimatalawa because he was a feminine woman with core values. She was not looking for a man. She was looking after herself.
Yeah.
The men came through from God. So when I was saying, how can I pay? How can I pay? And because of he who finds a good wife gets the favor from the Lord. She found a good man.
Yeah.
So what's going to say that? Also, talent for the way to tell you.
Exactly. And
a lady keep up for lady into the spiritual values. Now I cannot marry because I don't believe in those things. So I don't do it. I don't know how to get it.
okay, well, with that one, it's got its own label and conversation on its own. Now I believe, like I said, I'm a spiritual person. I'm an African woman, and I grew up in a Christian household, but I understand the element of both is what God and everything else. So yes, granted, that is what your preference is, and it goes back to what I was saying. Those are the conversations you have with your partner. You talk about, are you a Christian, fully Christian, or are you African spiritual person, or where are you leaning? Okay, what do you understand about spirituality with your partner? And then also, I always call it a triangle of life. It's God, you, and your partner. God, you, and whatever business you're doing. God, you, and work. So it's that triangle of life. Everything consists of that. And that's why I call myself a spiritual person. I understand that element more than anything else. And when you find a partner, you talk about these things. Oh baby, we gotta go on dinner date, but you don't dive deep into these things. And then once you have these kind of conversations, then o tla kgona pick up the background ya motho wa gago ke motho a motseng jwang o na le di-trauma kapo o na le anger issues o na le whatever unresolved issues. Then you can pick those things up when you have those conversations. And I think once those kind of conversations happen in relationship, gender-based violence will minimize it well, because you have put God first. Deal with him, like it will change. I'm gonna exit this relationship, work on him, and I'm out.
And I want to in our black society, like in total GBP.
Also, yeah, those are the society.
And how can I hear?
Yeah.
That is why I repeat in relationships, because
from a young age,
by the time you realize the foundation is messed up, and that's where it comes. The child is now born. Now you, okay, we need to raise this child, and not a lot of parents or two people that have a child have a good understanding of co-parenting. By like co-parenting takes maturity, high level of maturity,
emotional stability.
Exactly. You must understand whatever happens, it should never ever affect the child. I go to hula ngwana, re lwana ka ngwana.
Also, like, I would say, happy. I feel like we debate. I still go back to the Western world. Then Kenya in our culture. But then also, like, that's not how you were raised. Like, halba sharp, even before it's social media, it's before oral counseling. No, waka next door.
I told you
that's how whenever we were raised, because we're not privileged. You have a psychiatrist, then adopted to this Western world, and then I get lost. They can't know the word of God. It talks about a man as the head, then what I'm talking. But Nujina Resavato Kota, man, to ask scripture, Moilo and then Haita Jolo. It's a you know better. She knows better. Self-esteem of age. I read it to so I'm going back but lost. Point a lot of ladies equality. 17 bana batla equality. So if you know what equality, while say it's go fair or one for him mona na ke challenges tsa bontate mona na ke tsa motho while differentiate ka fitla mo ya equality then e betla ntungana. That's why you know what my first question ya ke feminism. Why am jita elo ona feminism am jita ke it was like kindness, but then those are like, I feel like it's principles but now society like feminism is like, hey, feminism, and not knowing when this equality came, manipulative. Let's not lie. Emotionally, you guys are like on the highest. Like that, like the highest. Like these people are dangerous. Come on, I get number from there. Baby, Nix. Walk away and get about baby. What do matter? You see, like they are master manipulators. And I say, it's nature. So if it's a more, it got destroyed. We didn't know who we are. And then it's a level at the roots big. It's a level at the principles big. Personally, the cook to feel like a cook for a country or once, or I'm a man of God, or twice, once. But then I think to you, into the materialistic and into an because they are more material equality, which in a competition, that's a computer the computer more.
If the black woman can understand that no one got everything, I want to turn way back.
I understand yes, we are master manipulators. We understand the emotional. We've got emotional intelligence basically in our nature. I don't know if you recall, there was a time when I said, I'm going to quote Michelle Obama. She said something in her marriage. She understood the concept of it will be at 30%, I'll be 70. And I'll be at 30, we'll be at 70. Sometimes it will be 50. But the conversation and the culture and the nature that you build within your relationship to make it work, because nobody will be at their 100% every single day. Wow.
That is why I tell a Perry why did I get Perry Tabonga 80-20 rule. More than to someone now, so to Ratangamon now. Let's empty. We are young moon to can't feel about it by the bubble. Because don't see because you are not coming.
Yeah. And then you don't talk about it.
Wow, sharper. How khathal, wow, rock, how fuchelete, how kupa chetam Google again data. Let's say 80 and Calabagala 20 later.
Yeah.
Kashapuan pay.
Kimo iloring kitsit la temo yan yore. I get that, like, what like you look at manipulative, you look at equality, by what equality, then specifically, I think I know facility equal, and I want to give them manipulators. But at the same time, how about they need a man in their life. I feel like a woman needs a man in their life, so that I can lead, I can submit.
We need each other.
I don't last, I value you. Come on, 2 months ago,
exactly. Come on, if you can think of it, the way GBV, I don't understand it. Or pull up before the shoot. And I was speaking of GBV, but like maybe now it doesn't come but to buy it because I don't understand it. Yeah, the victim, but then how is she in the root cause? So then I get kid must manipulator and then you are equal. About if it's a pointing on your ray, the same more lebon. Nujana different cardiac one and Nujana. If it's a man that compete, Lebon and Nujana, Rebella in. The root cause that one as machine, the values that one. Also, it's also a man. They also do love for high and like it. What's a long pull baga? Kimoilo Tomoto, I feel like we're not groomed enough, especially nowadays. Mentality of one higher. And then Nujana personal pressure, the materialistic things, the system, like that's like it.
I have a question with what you just said. Okay, fine, granted, master manipulator.
Yeah.
Because you say, okay, inside you cannot go now about
yeah.
But then in cases where a woman knows what they want, when as a man from your end, do you know what you want? When you meet a woman also. And once a man asuka acted sperm, you will be affected. But a woman maybe when as a guy you don't know. Because now there's two people they're in a relationship, the guy is still figuring himself out, and maybe you at a mature level. Lona basaduna later. I said, Lona so
true.
Naturally. And then it goes back to that thing when you pray for whoever I get into a relationship with, can they not bring forth harm, but be an image of God, because God is love and kindness. That's the kind of prayer that you need to have as well as a woman. Because like we have lost souls and damaged individuals out there
because of dating.
Do you think like Bonamajita, we are threatened by a woman's success and independence? That's why I'm violent.
Yeah, most of my guitars were.
Can you go deep?
Most of my guitars were. Actually, I get a book of Chinchi.
Yeah.
South Africa. A man must be a provider.
Yeah.
But no technicality. Basari ba utilo faith. Ne? Basibetsa mesebetsi proper faith.
Yeah.
Ne? And in few 90% ya basadi ya ba affecta o ya go ha ba tshwara di household sa bona hore maybe ke manager ga mona ke khanna taxi jole ha tshwara tsuka bana ona la o ke di jobani sika babo
title ya salam sebetsi title ya salam sebetsi
ona ke ka tsumta
babo botama ka yona o kena ka yona
o kena le yona ka tsu so wa ai ba jwalo ke tsa jela so monna ke yona ke catalyze GBV emotionally verbally and physically e kala da true because msaluna kuna na mona na utama ka kulino tsama ka test nene umplela o mas ke o watching basket le di college o tlo mitasi o ha ke tseba ke na le metric ya jera nna tse ke ja chips Marios e build ya engan le tsona ile di na mo
I think like I lo na ma lo pasulu be sharp with our mouth saying and when I know when I say something it's going to hit home in such a situation a woman knows really but the communication I feel it still has to be there because I know
my words
like I'm not gonna answer to a man but like if the tables were to turn and then he says he doesn't have to answer to you so get two bulls in one
ground.
You understand
but
so it goes back to that knowing when the masculine part has to step in the feminine part needs to step in blend
spirituality relationship even business that's spirituality
that's from the spiritual
so awata na dina national 5% disagatana mara ntse ke feta o ona nka se feta mara la ke tlo kwa la mnoga ke December tsena ke ketsa 5% no a so ba ke ya motho ke re ka morata
so hot man
why do you find it hard to believe
nto yetsa mo batana ke yetsa ke sagata
like mo hitile ka po o tsetse
ona ka dilo pela o sa bona no pui fofa
yo when you wa ka ntle ka mona
what's in you need to be forward from tomorrow Bila utotho batho ba banyalane ba banyalana ka moka ba hlala ka moka 3 months tsona ntwetse
the thing is I understand why he says
wait 5 years ma like I get no wait like what happened like obe like I sawa tla o jola no tjena
angiyetile muthuba
hetile so la find out ka la realize ka bo
la find out
elo no so investile mo elo re
relationship ya 5 years obvious
and I have
and then how they decision and consequences a man action side this is emotional intelligence because concern to be try yetsa kana pui ke be ke le kanetse
I don't know find it out
thing sharp
ha mo bona hona le ntonyana eo ya ka pese le ka
ga bua lo bua ha ona la ka o bua
you heal. Sometimes you have to heal yourself before the next person can heal you. That's the element of healing.
And so since like relationship in that's why you can not understand that this rule GBV or is it doing justice because also a relationship in 5 years Kauprika or M 5 years in Wena or Sabati in relationship based on into Againts when do you think it becomes very easy for Mchita to be violent?
Yeah.
then why not like a protector more?
Obvious. That is why the status of GBV didn't so.
Yeah.
99% time I should take a decision and can go Bola Musadi Kapamusha.
I mean, and then the triggers in the Kadilakai. The triggers, when I the trigger the Karakai, Kapakema Adieta.
What's going to come? It was the first time you wanted to make a bona come to me. I got to wait till it's about to come. Now, Halon to Halanta Halonway.
Yeah.
Okay, Mutolata, madam, I'm to them on 50s. Avanzaha.
Yeah.
It's not what to think, but you're too much about. The guy who coach Musula was not what you do.
Yeah.
So, Hangata. Implementatara muthanza khalingwe mthola mthethela mthela phone na mthona hawo college ya ho phone la ngolo kaphu baje go chaisitse tla sa mosebetsi no tlametse report enyini sa kene ka ka laptop le bitsa ntse sa donati wa ditse bitsa live what zoom ba ka mo re wena o ditse ntho le very same person motho ba thola ga attended that anger.
It's
a build up.
And as well how say munna wa mudimo o balela o satan go bola motho go balela o satan e tlamela le bona ha o le munna wa mudimo o bona ntho jwang o kopa modimo mo hloka bonansa e betwe beta mo office solution it's in satan
100%.
Okay, God, look at your child. Look at your child.
Wabo o kopa modimo Raymond hagi ona mchedo bala ya tamana jikopa wana nsolvele mpina because mire to bo sharp kapa mo kwala ka mmai ummolaya ubaletso sata hawaya umudi that is all you must go. That's why I told my cousin we must look for a kind man tekala hana dieta. I'm telling you,
my society is a trivial mtu asinandieta hana next, you know, and we think it's an more. It's a little the way it's portrayed because I would say 60% or 70% the internet day and then internet or bona.
Oketa basani abati babatlaja. Nandi kosi the doctor. Alogata na muthabula abatho beta. A convicted criminal.
Happy. Wabona haringa tlolla ho check the good relationships on social media and oh my God, why?
Portray as if you good relationship.
Exactly, and you will find it's not peaceful at all. And that room is supposed to be peaceful in a sense, yeah. Point on each other's weaknesses because obviously we know we have weaknesses, but do your level best. However you speak to the next person, speak with kindness.
I get 100%. Oh, I get. We have to get to the root cause. Like does GBV in the way in market to thing? I saw the last time I posted to the people. Yeah. GBV in the Central Halley. Did it serve justice more?
It will never serve justice. Kapela modimo o fe monna kapela modimo ntho be people ba beile fela mo itshware hantle
speaking of
itshware hantle ha ka teng dumela itshware hantle ha e batla ntho bien itshware hantle ha re na le problem re mutsi ke ona ba ntse go stopa jibi la ba ka etsa le mo se tla ba etsa itshwara le ntho ya jubanisi ha e tlo fela wena if to fit so ko wena ka relationship ya ha
why stop who compare
it feels like individual so mutho mo lo mo that is why we say how not to GBV it's ala go se dina ba sa dibana ba shule ka
and then
that feel like a babulai ma that they are those wabo family la go we so cafe na ke ju just
so and then little handle mo ilong ka tla re so do you think men are victims and then if it is sweet as the action star one it doesn't just start to clap after the so you thought like do you think Majitari the victim but then the actions tsa bona ka di ba more louder. You bet ngare no moment like give one the victim.
There's cases like that.
Do you think like Ijwalo,
there's cases
what
like
happens,
that,
especially in a context as South African black men, how the society, the system is, msebenzi how ya boxer, before when it's like, because I want to CV them to mara how lo bana ntho me kena ke langa tla msebenzi. If you someone who provide I mean if you the qualifications, if you experience, it's very rare you to get about retail. If you sabala, if you say and then when I bona hot money ke lo go to men. Spanaga aribwenka nta ya velcom balasa ngatheka ne lethe wona mama asebetsanga gold umashima nino osebetsa ka gold o khana Mercedes Juvanisi la fita kae ke hotman dintho di etsa hana and so re benka ka ntho yo re hey kamle we pull and then yena being front ya ke business ya saloon a re tsebe go re hey tšhelete hlaka mane ma re bona saloon so re sena le mentality so nka qala business ya ka ke tlo ba sharp ma go sa tsebe di hey business ina le e batla tšhelete fundamentals e batla tšhelete e batla e be le mo e le gore re khaba twate wow because a re nna mthwana ile gore ya skela man stilo yo mona o sharp ama wine pito e mona etsa podcast e mona o mbona o sharp la to but then I'm trying to like oblela for him o mzala a fixe mo maybe una matswante o la ka spana dintho tse itseng a save chelete babo. So point ga ni le mo yore do victims bona re the victims especially ka context ya a South African black man a South African black man because I don't feel like renale a savior
so o buile ntho ya re magudumela as my change apply that pressure that borderline pressure standard so Rona as Majida have honest conversations with yourselves as well. Then you can fix yourself. Whatever men can fix men because a man knows what another man is going through also. Fix your guys' self because we as women and life goes on sharp but a man amongst men don't talk about it but then we're going to trade what's your
take as Mujita? What do you think?
We're not the victim because of our poor decision making. You're not the victim. What's one the China can get? One of them the top 10 of 6 or 7 in Ugalapa. How can I get a relationship? Only when them can a successful relationship with a week disappointment. Because Motoko Palena continue in Ugalapa. Ultimately, charmed municipality, maybe not spending most panting. So, Camille Feda, Mosani, I got what's a good people at someone. Who make a community. It's a strategy. Banana believe that I will do some of them. Sure, I like to manage about the race about to when I get guest house soon, that's not actually. Get away like feeling that day. So, John, what I fell away now. Personals.
Yeah.
We had net.
Yeah.
So now, but and I'm sure how you disappoint. Obeli solution at the that decision is stupid.
Yeah.
Don't affect the about by him in society at large. Because I know other people on a fair. Different guy walk out to give it to your son. Essentially, be told about Lahesu, Kereke, Spa, Waboncholo, Wabonaki.
Yeah.
Alright, so speaking on that, anytime.
Yeah,
But let's go to the matter because we can never a whole conversation can do that.
Yeah.
What do you guys take the video recently? A lady alaka bua ka ngwana hae are stepfather sa hae, which is monna wa hae o la ka ripa ngwana hae. Like, what do you guys think about that? I get already what I say situation so ke ba like fela wena ka mfo o la ka ifua ka teng o nana
what surprises me when I tell a video when I tell an analysis how should I can say
Yeah.
that I no tell mati aba go bala lona ke re ke di allegations me o tshwa
Yeah.
so in that process me ona ntsetsa
it's like uchulona ka ntle ka po
o ka ntle like o ka ntle ona se a tso strategy o ka ntle ntate mo tsela le mati o kena ka tsui ntate ka tsui o kena o go bala le ngwana and o find out ngwana sala late a go tla ngwana go na ngwana o etsa ngwana kona mo bolella o tsetse na go a kokota nyu a fumana go no tletse o ntse.
So are you saying at that moment or what action do you think she should have taken?
Maybe
And hence that's why she's reaching out now with that video. Or by maybe because sometimes it does happen but baba pressure off or baba it's impossible. This person loves me. This person will never do that.
South African, it is a sin to have a contrarian mindset. According to my analysis, how now how to scream how it's in mix. The moment you can
was she supposed to call the police?
Yeah, what's like
What action should have happened?
And what was the relationship between the child and the stepfather? Before the allegations started, the relationship and what she did about it. Before I'm trying to ring ties.
What But that's the thing, like it's very interesting that you're pointing that out, man. And also a perpetrator is not written on the forehead. Or the Mutunana one day will actually rape someone and take advantage of them. You're just hopeful that this person will think from a protector's perspective to say, I am a protector, whatever happens, I can go and also no Kiki under a situation a stepfather. But what about other cases where siblings rape their sisters? Fathers, biological fathers do these actions throughout. So what's the kind of how to it's a hal wa ribeya go re ke ntwana go bele motho a nka nketsa je. And it takes a brave person to come forward and be vocal about it without fear of being judged and saying, so that's why it becomes hard for victims to come forward because then no, you look like a slave queen, which you were asking for it. Those kind of narratives, they will be placed on you. Even with men as well. You know, how can you not stand up for yourself. How can you not? So we can make speculation and analyze things according to that. But when I the situation so okay,
Because I'm taper.
you understand?
Your person.
And how long I know how not tell my team always I'm trying to come on.
Has it happened multiple times? Because I don't think out of the blue, kila itahala, how to layer, ibitahala, whenever is the awareness, Singapore.
That's why you how limited kana go udulele ngwana ubulelo hore there's sexual consent, there's like how only a man next to you, a man must not make you feel uncomfortable, so that how I feel like motho no o sa kala a ntshwara ka ke la bo e ba awkward man because ke monka as ntatwaka and o ke la bo o tla khona gore a tle ho wena kapa o tla etsa subtle indication hore skansia le yena whatever happens le ko skansia le motho nana ko potsa ma le yena bonto tso jalo you need to be conscious about it. Why is my daughter not comfortable around a particular individual? Then lo go dule le wena analyze hore no man comment of any give at we lookies and I must be vocal about it.
They are very deep. Keep family violence.
Yeah.
They are very deep. Dance. I know check whether the local that I'm check on until was it the first time it's if it happened. If it happened, because personally I don't have a kid, but I get to tell when I'm too big to. But we want justice for both of them. Motwa poso, le hotel
Yeah.
Rather than creating social media, what we escalating a yabaya volunteer. No, what you innocent. That's that in trade. Because I was being killed, I bear social media. So, I'm talking about the proceedings that
the social worker did be involved because they are professionals. They can
fix something.
Child psychology is and hangata bana bajwang. You put them in a playroom and then you just give yourself time. In that playroom, you will pick up over yes, this person was actually sexually abused or physically abused. So if you're not to drama, we need to have those kind of conversations again as black folks amongst ourselves. Guys, it takes a village to raise one. It shouldn't be in a sense. I know society can try to they physically become, they look like so there's things that's why how it goes back to trying men to men talk and women to women. We know how to talk. So with that video, I hope justice is served accordingly.
Not take its course.
I feel like the hands, like most of all, try to get like liberty principles, and then it's like from the spiritual realm, like a man who's grounded, a man of God, and to take and we didn't a materialistic things.
Kana le motho wa hao ka tla lena ha go bala lena a sa rate wa utlwa phela ka motho na tsatsile na ha mono sampa phela ba tla di beshang. So imagine how you feel so.
Do you think good question how motho o jola le yena ne motho tsa mo gore motho ka tlile go itse a
ba la sa ga no ha ga mara.
Let's say, for example,
when the mood, the mood,
For
today
example,
ha re fishile yena o ya o dinda
exactly nna ke mshapile ke msile ka tlung a ka thola something ha fitla bona le go betsa monate se bile ke bula fela
wa bo na fitla ke pela fela ga e ke mona ke ha
yo
a etsang ka force
And wabana such incidents ha di etsagala o tswa fa o bua ba tlo go magela jola you get so
and
even with victims the things that they go kintona go magela jola ke motho ha o tsamile
you must engage ka tabo so umlelo bona ba bana ne ke se sharp and fit a ho ba bang patela ne se ntwenyo ne ba tla yi ne ke ba fela profitisa wena wa no tatwa ka tsu wa ba lene ya mo bontsha go wa mo khathalle
So, guys, this is a very lengthy topic, but we always like to hear your views on everything that we just shared today. Comment in the comment section. Remember, yes, we'll have snippets on TikTok, but young one for YouTube, and then the comment, share, subscribe, the TikTok, or the comment, and engage with us.
Can I just say, like, do you guys happy Nana? When are they victims? Couple, I'm going to reveal and do you think it's serving the right cause?
Yeah.
It's a justice, yeah, I'd like to know that. And we get into the root of it because I feel like it's more painted. One other victim, but if maybe we can do one other boss, what's the way solution? What's the way forward? But before we have a know, what's your take? What would you like to on find solutions based on what is happening nowadays?
I'm not solution one for an before when it comes to homicide. And create the consequences. What are the consequences? Some people not consequences start thinking. Because this is too much, man.
Yeah, it's a pandemic.
I was here to say that imagine I give man a bill of strategy. Capability.
Yeah.
That's painful. That's painful.
Yeah,
and
no.
The government is sitting up for this thing. And most of the victims, like I said, and that's a protection order. That's why I say it.
Cupcakes hanga share. I mean, Ramaphosa hanga bona kapo justice o garing mo bona.
When it comes to protection order,
we must implement this thing, the colonial GDP, because what we can come about, that's something like Baba had frustrated. We don't tell you about that. Musadi na Baba, Musadi na Chita Jamola. The time we get to Chila from primary. Mwana mshimana tsibo mwana na uchabajwa. That's the only solution.
Body life orientation subjects is implement and have those kind of discussions. Have social workers and people with the experience there.
Everybody have to work for themselves. And I'm trying to keep work. On the balance incident as you tell I have a Messiah different things. One about but I'm telling you very mutual. I want about Babana mutual to installate. That's a problem.
And that is the pandemic. It's taking like it's a pandemic is the rise. And it's bad. And not in a egotistical way, but in general, baby girl, don't do that. Yeah, so you were saying we must continue. It's just a conversation for today, just like 16 days of activism, and then we continue.
Next 16 days.
And I guess now, from my side, I don't have much to say, but I hope everything that we've shared today touched you, and if you have your stories, do share them. We always like to hear them. Engage with us. And from myself, Dimakatso Felicity Silogo, aka Bliss, aka Max Banzibakamaki, we are signing out. From my co-pilot, Activism, our guest.
And yeah, I saw also in our comments. If you have a story, guys, I'm sure, as I would emphasize, if you have something to say about, just DM us.
Yeah, we'll book a session like this.
Analysis, what we saw, not the full picture. I want to assume, I want to
Yes.
without full information.
Yeah.
So if you have something upon to it, don't just went to Bikinyana. Come with the full story, so that at least there are what's the reports or what's to tell the relative, and then how to take you about.
Exactly. Defamation of character is the result there. Yeah, that's true.
When I'll the uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, so that's that from us. Yeah.
Hey, when I'll the report case that's Majita reporter.
That's happening.
No, go when it's a so true. No,
It's all about what's happening because of the position.
when I give my sugar mama vibes.
Let me see that outside. I'm going to take some time when you don't be dealing with
Yeah. It happens. It happens. Get into the
What thing? You know so bad.
This is a bit of a challenge.
So it's very deep.
We can get an integrated process.
Then I feel like I got to be so sharp.
When we are talented,
I guess it's another conversation. Thank you
Part
guys.
2, where we analyze everything after the 16 days.
Yeah.
And your comments as well. We would love to see them, hear them. And any last words?
Oh no.
That's all.
Oh, no.
Peace out.